Welcome back, guys. Guess what? Your room is not as small as you think it is. I genuinely believe that. What's making it feel tiny is not the square footage. It's a handful of very specific, very fixable mistakes that most people don't even realize they're making. And the thing that drives me crazy is that some of these are things people do on purpose, thinking it's going to help, and it just does the absolute opposite. So we're fixing all of it today, 7 mistakes. Let's go. And real quick, before tip 1, if you're new here, I beg you to subscribe. I post design content every single week and have done so consistently for the last 6 years. So if that doesn't give you just a little pause for you to please subscribe, I don't know what would. And it would just make a world of difference to the team. And the team will have motivation to keep going. So we would really, really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about tip number 1, wall color. The accent wall. I know, but hear me out. The accent wall had its moment. That moment is over. And in a small room specifically, it is actively working against you. Here's why. Every single time the color changes, your eye stops. It's a visual interruption. And in a tight space, interruptions equal small. What you want is one continuous color wrapping the entire room, or colors so close in value that the transitions basically disappear. When your eye can move around the room without hitting a speed bump, the space reads as so much larger. It sounds almost too simple, but it is one of the highest impact changes you can make without touching a piece of furniture. And once the walls are sorted, the next thing to think about is how everything inside the room relates to each other. Because this is where a lot of people are unknowingly creating a really chaotic visual experience. Tip number 2, contrast. Too much high contrast spread across everything. Let me explain. Dark sofa, light rug, dark wall, light ceiling, and suddenly your eye is just pinballing and bouncing around the room. In a space that's already limited, all that contrast chops everything into smaller and smaller pieces. It's visually exhausting, and it makes the room feel chaotic and cramped at the same time. Contrast is not the enemy. Misplaced contrast is. So keep your big surfaces in the same color family. Let your walls, sofa, rug, and curtains feel related. Then use contrast as a detail. Piping on a cushion, the finish on a frame, a single small scale pattern as an accent, that reads as intentional. Contrast on everything just reads as noise. Now, here's where I want to talk about something that ties directly into the whole room feeling cohesive. And it's something most people completely underestimate. Tip number 3, lighting. Okay, one overhead light, that's it. That's the whole setup. And listen, I get it. It's what was there when you moved in, and it technically lights the room, so you just leave it. But that single ceiling light is doing so much damage, and I need you to understand why. A ceiling light hits every surface from the same angle. It flattens the room. It makes every corner obvious. It is zero illusion happening. It just shows you exactly how small the space is without mercy. What actually makes a room feel larger is light at multiple levels. A table lamp here, a floor lamp in that dead corner, maybe a picture light over your art. When you have warm pools of light scattered around the room at different heights, your eye reads the space as deeper and richer. It feels like the room goes somewhere. That's what you're chasing. I have my favorite lamps curated on Shop My, by the way, different styles, different price points. So check that out in the link below if you're starting from scratch. Now let's zoom in even further because the next mistake is happening, your surfaces and your furniture, and it is loud. Number 4, pattern scale. Tiny prints on everything. This one seems harmless and is actually pretty chaotic. Small, busy patterns on large surface areas make a room buzz. There is nowhere for your eye to land and rest in a small room. You desperately need those moments of visual calm. The rule is simple. Go solid or large scale on big stuff. Sofa, curtains, rugs. Those are your anchor pieces and they should be calm. Then bring in small scale patterns as accents. A small print on a couple of pillows, charming. A small print sofa in a small room. You will be fighting it forever and you won't even know why the room feels off. Save the busy stuff for the small stuff. And since we just mentioned pillows, this next one is going to be uncomfortable for some of you, and I need you to stay with me. Tip number 5, pillows and throw situation. I say this with so much love. You have too many pillows on your sofa, guys. Look, I have a very long sofa. It's about 105 inches. I only have 2 pillows. And in fact, sometimes I remove one of them. Here's the thing about a sofa, buried in 10 pillows of varying sizes, plus a throw on the end. Even when it's styled, it reads as clutter. And clutter collapses a space. Your eye doesn't see cozy, it sees full, and full feels small. Edit it down, 2 to 3 pillows max. Keep the sizes interesting, perhaps a bolster, maybe a rectangle. Just think of it as more of a architectural art object rather than just pillows, but make sure, of course, that they're comfortable. That's it. Fewer, better, interesting elements, and you will get a calm that reads as spacious every time. Now, we've been talking about what's happening inside the room, but the next mistake happens before you even fully step into it. And that's tip number 6, entryway. The entry point of a room and the first impression it gives you the second you walk in. If you walk into a room and the first thing you hit is a heavy console, a coat stand, gallery wall packed to the gills, your brain has already decided the room is full before you've even stepped into the home. The room told you its whole story in the doorway, and the story was cramped. So keep the entry deliberately light, slim console, one piece of art, a small lamp, and then let the room open up as you move into it. When the entry is airy, your eye travels forward into the space instead of stopping at the threshold. The room feels like it's revealing itself to you, and that feeling is spacious. And once you're actually inside and seated, there's one last thing quietly undermining everything, and it's sitting right there on your coffee table. Tip number 7, table decor height. Now, tall decor on your coffee table, small detail, big impact. Now, what do I mean by that? In a small room, sight lines are everything. When you can see across the full length and width of a room from your seat, your brain registers it as large. The moment something interrupts that, a tall vase, a centerpiece that's just a little too ambitious, a candle situation that goes out of hand, you lose that sense of depth and room shrinks. Keep your tabletop stylish, low and horizontal. Tray, stack of books, a low decorative object, everything should sit below eye level. When you're seated, your sight line stays long. The room stays open. And honestly, low layered styling looks way more editorial anyway. It's a win on both counts. Now, these were 7 mistakes, all fixable, none of them requiring a renovation or a big budget, just a trained eye and a willingness to edit. I hope that that is genuinely all it takes. Save this video so you can come back to it in mid-decorating, and I'll see you in the next one.